Saying welcome to this webinar around the EIT Repository, the first one we're having in this shape when we're really starting to work together now between the kicks. So I have a few slides in the beginning, a little about the agenda, what we're going to do today. The aim is that you will get an introduction about how to find your way around the EIT Repository. And by that we mean understanding a little bit about what is the EIT Repository really, and how to start create digital learning material. And this is normally the place where we spend most of the time, because this is the most creative part, most interesting part. But of course, it is also very important to understand how to share and collaborate around learning material. Because if we didn't have this part, you could use any tool in the world, of course, but this is something that adds something extra, how to be able to share and collaborate around learning material within the kick or between the kicks as well. And when you want to use the material, of course, you might like to export it or link your material to another learning platform. I know each one of you have different LMS systems, learning platforms. It could be Docebo, or it could be Canvas, or it could be Moodle, or any other type of platform. And there are ways to using the material in that platform. There are always questions around licensing. If I create material and put it up here in a tool like this, who can access the material? Do I give the material away, and how are the rules around that? And we can say directly that you are in control of your material here, so you don't give anything away. But we'll walk through that about copyrights and so on. So that is the aim and the main points in the agenda today. A little bit about what is the repository really. And right now, I would like to show you this picture about the Learnify tools, because these are the tools that we have implemented in the repository. And there is quite a lot of functionality, and from the beginning it's not that easy to understand all of it, how it fits together. This has been developed for many years. We start with the idea of reusing material for more than 15 years ago. In one type of repository. The first one was called Packager, the possibility to package training out of existing resources. But quite soon we needed authoring tools. But for about the last 5-6 years, we've been working intensely with InnoEnergy and develop these tools further. But it's not only the kicks that are using the Learnify tools. There are many other users, companies, in the financial sectors are some of the biggest clients, but also in different types of schools, universities, and in companies in general. So there are hundreds of thousands of users of the Learnify tools. The main idea of all the tools and so on is that you don't have to use all the tools. You choose which ones you use. But the center here of putting things in a repository is sort of the main idea. If you don't do that, then maybe you're not using the repository, you're working some other way. So this is the place. It's like a library where you can store both your own material and you can work together with other people, and you can see published material. And published material can be both open material that is free for anyone to use. We normally use Creative Commons licenses, so there are a couple of license versions there. So if you are able to reuse the material, or if you're even allowed to make a copy of the material and change it for yourself. So it could be very open, but it could also be closed, that people sell material. Like InnoEnergy have a business around selling material, and then of course it is not allowed to use it without buying it. So it's possible to restrict uses or have it very open in a repository. And the main idea is of course to be able to reuse material, because we see that all the the amounts of money and time and effort that is spent in creating learning material, that is really the biggest investment in this area, far more than the systems. So everything that we can reuse and use the best experts in Europe or in the world, it would be a beneficiary for us. So let's see, maybe I have something added in there. So PowerPoint, let's see. So to the repository, we have a few authoring tools. The main one is called Author. If you used Learnify previously, or one of the repositories like EIT Repository, maybe you have seen the tool Fast Track. This has changed the name. It's a totally new version, and it's very, very different. So it's got a new name as well, called Author. And this is where you spend most of your time when you're creating material with a repository. The advantages with Authors is that it's template-based, so it is responsive. You can use it on different screens and so on. And there's a lot of functionality, and you can, since it's template-based, you can change the layout and change the whole course, change the logo that is appearing in the player and so on, and or the colors or something like that. There's about 25 different templates for exercises, presentation formats, and so on. Presenter is the original tool, the one we started with, and is still quite widely used because it is an ad hoc tool. So if you're doing teacher-led training and you want to use digital material at that time, Presenter is rather quick to add a video, maybe a brainstorm functionality or a discussion forum or something like that on the same page as you have the video, or links or a book or some interaction that you want to show on a screen in the classroom or in a webinar or somewhere else. You can use Presenter for that. And it's of course possible to create really big material also in Presenter, but most people prefer Author since it's smarter and more easy to use for that. We have another tool coming up that is called a planner, and that is for creating really large material. And that is, if you create material with Author and Presenter, you can combine them in larger structures. This is not so widely used. There's a few use cases that are relevant, but in most of the cases, actually, it is beneficiary to use the modules or the course modules that you create in Author and so on, and put them together in your learning management system. So you create the structure there instead of creating it in Planner. But if you have special requirements, like you want to create a really large hierarchical structure of material and so on in one object, then Presenter or Planner is a good thing to combine them into different stages. So Author, 95% of the time, probably here. Everything we use, we put in a repository. It's also, of course, possible to upload or link material into the repositories. You don't have to use these tools. We have something we call smart hosting here. Traditionally, if you worked with learning management systems or creating learning material, you're probably familiar with that. When you create a course in one tool, you need to export it and import it into your distribution system, your learning management system, like here. And if you export everything, like files, so on, it's normally a large zip file, and it's normally called SCORM. It could also be IMS packaging or something like that. Then it takes time to upload the material to the learning management system. It's also quite common that the learning management system loses the history of the tracking when you upload and update for a course or something like that. So it has some complications to export and upload material, though it is the most common way to do it. But to do it a little bit more elegant is with smart hosting. We can use LTI and XAPI and so on, new technologies that make this more seamless. So you don't really export the material to your system if you're using Canvas or Moodle or something else around here, the CEVO or something in learning management system. You just post a link here, and the course is actually still existing here in the EIT repository. That way you can update something. If you have a misspelling or something, you can just change it in a second, and that will be relevant for all the users immediately here. So it's a good thing to have the smart hosting part. There are a few distribution and collaboration tools here also embedded in the EIT repository. One is called Learning Portal, and that is like a mini LMS. Especially good for collaborative learning, because it's really like a discussion board or a chat for all the users in a class or a group of learners. The tutor have a blog where they can post material, and you can see the content that you have put up for this study group. It's widely used within study groups in adult training, so quite a lot in Sweden. I don't know if any one of you would like to use it, but it's there available for you. And if you have small groups and you think and you don't have a learning management system available for you, it could actually be an option. Some people use it in combination with learning management systems as well. If the communication functionality is not that good in the learning management system, if you want more collaboration between your tutors. That is in the learning zones and learning portal or learning management functionalities. That's available for you. But we also have something called the blogs that is even easier. You don't require any login here. You can have a mutual or a common password to a blog. We started this for kids, really young children, 7, 8 years old, so they can use like a small LMS functionality that was really basic. And they did amazing things with this, the teachers there, and invented actually discussion forums and hand-in folders and stuff within the blogs. It's also used in the other end with senior managers, and you I don't know if they would like that comparison, young kids and senior managers there, but it's extremely easy to use, so it could be an option if you don't get people to log in. I know this has been the case in some collaborations within EIT when you have between different countries and different systems and so on, and it's not that the training is not a big secret, you just want some place to collaborate. So you have access to all these tools for author, presenter, the repository, smart hosting, but in most cases you will have your own LMS probably, so it will be up here that you will use the most of the things, I would say. But let's start with the funny part, I think. Sarah, shall we go into look at author and how to create material?
Well, let's do that. That sounds like a plan. I would just like to invite everybody to find the chat. If you haven't used Google Meet before, it's up in your right-hand corner. There's a little icon that looks like a chat bubble, speech bubble. And please, yes, well done. Thanks, Inge. You posted the first comment. Please feel free to post questions and comments, just like Per said, or just interrupt the presentation with your question. It's great if you write down a question, because we could, if there's no time or if there is other issues that we have to take into consideration, it's great to have it in text as well. We can get back to you after the webinar. Right, I shall start to present. Let's see here then. And we shall go to the, there we go. Right, so I have logged in to innoenergy.learnify.se, and I am greeted with my Learnify page, my first starting page. I don't know if there's anybody who's not familiar with this, but I should just go through it very quickly. You have your main menu up in the left-hand corner. Click that little waffle, the waffle menu as we call it, the Belgian waffle. And you have all the access to all the tools that Per just talked about. And we are going to go straight into creating stuff in Author. So Author is one of the easier ones that we've actually gotten out from Learnify. It's fantastic to use it. We do produce the image ourselves for our professional e-learning courses. And Author is made for you to get started really quickly. There's a lot of hidden, or well, let's call it hidden functionality behind buttons, behind tabs. So there are a lot of the advanced functionality. We'll go through some of the basic ones now, and you'll see how easy it is to get started. When I open Author, I can straight away click New Module, and I can choose the module language if I would so like. There's also a little guide that can show you how to get started with creating your first module within Author. Then down below these two buttons, if you have been into Author before, you will see all the courses and the modules that you have created before. And as you see here, there's a lot of courses. It could be down to the fact that I am admin, but we will also import the ones that you have created in Fast Track. So it's a seamless transition from Fast Track to Author. You can edit any Fast Track material within Author as well. But we will start with creating a new module, clicking the plus, and we're taken to the editing space. So this is Author. I will click on a hidden little menu here, which is the table of contents. So here you will see your pages and your chapters being built as you do it. This is a live view, and now let's go through all the different areas of Author. So as I said, you have the table of contents here. You work with pages, and you can add chapters. Here you will see all your pages coming to life as you create them. You can drag and drop them in this menu to change order, definitely. You can also click on them straight away to activate the editing of that particular page. Over that menu, we have a little button called File, and here you can start creating a new module or open a recent existing module for more editing, if you would so like. The middle part of Author, which is a very huge area, is the view where you get to see your material come into life. So here, as soon as you add things to your pages, to your chapters, here you will see the live view. You cannot navigate within the live view, but you can see exactly what's happening while you're writing. You will see it come to life, and I will show you in a minute. You also have a breadcrumb up here. These small buttons above the live view page is delete, obviously, and there is a few other extra buttons as well. One is quite interesting. This is duplicate. If you have a page that you think is, oh, I want 5 of those pages, just click duplicate and you'll have 5 times, and you will have 5 of the exact same page. Now, this is when you want to when you have something that you might have pictures that you want to reuse in the similar type of page, then you can easily use duplicate. Above the live view, we have desktop mode, and we also have mobile mode. So if you click this little switch, you can see an estimate on how your material would look on a mobile unit. To the right-hand side, we have all the templates. Now, as I said, you work with pages, and then you add a template to your page. And we have divided all the templates within 3 categories. We have present, which is a blue color for now. We have, for example, text with image, presenting videos, audio with image, and so forth. Now, this is just a few of the templates that has been added here. You have more templates on the black tab here to the far right. So you can always go in and browse that. We have presented only the few ones that are most commonly used, actually, here in the first view. You can always add and personalize your palette of templates, of course. Now, present is from me to the user, and then we have exercise, which is interactive exercises like multiple choice questions. Well, you know, the normal ones that you can find within quizzes, quite a few different ones. And we also have a few explore headers where you can click on titles and you get more information about that exact title header. We have questions on image, a few hotspots, drag and drop, and so forth. Now, underneath exercise is the one category that I'm really excited about, which is reflect. And here we have much more interactivity added. We can only see 2 of those templates here, but I will show you how to view more in a second. We have vote, we have consider, where you have to think about reflections. And here you can pose questions of a more reflective nature to your participants. There's also forum, there is 4 corners, and there is a lot more social interactions where you can allow your participants to communicate with each other within the course straight away. If I want to see more of the reflections templates, I click more templates. And then I can scroll down. You see it here, we have the present, we have the exercise in the green category, and here we come to the reflections templates. I like to call them the social exercising, because you can actually allow your students to be more interactive with each other. And you see that there's quite a lot here. Now we'll stop here and just draw your attention to notes and multiple notes. We have a template here that allows the student or the user of the material to take notes within the course. So it's a free text entry page, and then the students, the users, can download their notes and reflections in a PDF at the end of the course. Forums, as I said, knowledge test, and then there's a little Java code script template if you're interested in programming your own template. To add another template, I will add let's add a forum here to my templates, to the tab where I always see them. I just click add to my templates, and now I find it down here. Right, let's get started. Now, as a good TV chef, I have chosen a little course template here, and I can click to name the module. There we go. Sustainable energy. Let's see. What is it, and why does it matter? And then it's great to spell correctly as well. Now, to add my first page, it's already there. I can just go in and use one of the templates. And I will use the first one, text with image.
Hello, Sarah?
Hello. Yes.
Dimitra has a question in the chat.
Yes.
Yes.
Please go ahead, Dimitra.
Well, I can directly ask. I just didn't want to interrupt you. You showed us how to add something from the more templates to my templates, but can I remove something that I don't use typically, or replace it with something I use much more commonly? Like, I don't use the audio with image. Can I remove it?
Yes.
From my templates?
You can click the little 3 buttons. If you hover over the template icon, and you click the 3 little buttons here, the little 3 little dots.
Okay, I see. Remove
my templates. Absolutely. Okay. You can personalize. Yes, of course. Right, so we will go forth and we will click, this time I will click text with image, which is the most commonly used template of them all. And here you cannot be quick stressed. You have to breathe while the template is loaded. All right, so here we have the template. You see that straight away the live view has been changed, and we have the possibility of editing and adding content. Now, in the right-hand corner here, we have the input fields. We see what template we are using, and we have the content tab open. There's also another few tabs: properties, navigation, and there is also a podcast mode that is quite advanced. So we will leave that for this view, but there is more help to learn about that. We do have a help center where you can click straight away within the editor, and you open guides, and you have author guides, and then you have all the template guides, what you could ask for. So please go ahead and explore that when you try this yourself. Right, sustainable energy. And here we go. You see the text coming to life here in the live view. And then I can add text. I can do a lot of introductory course and material, and I can talk about everything here. But I will do just an introductory page, and I will say, welcome to the course. And since this is a demo, I will keep the writing quite to a minimum, so you will have to imagine that I have a very, very pedagogical and very welcoming text here. Now I can use the text with image template with images, and I would encourage you to upload images that you have locally saved on your own unit, your hard drive. You can paste a link, obviously, if you have access to a image bank. But since it's a lot of times that we've noticed that if you link a picture, then there is a slight chance that the link will be changed because the website is remodeled or something like that, and you will lose your image. So I would encourage you to download images and upload them here. You can upload as many images as you like within a module, but you can only use one per page. I will upload a, let's see here. I have a little, let's try that one. I have a little picture here. And now I come to the image handler. Now, since you see that there's only a slight view what you can use, then you can move this image area and decide which area to use. You can also drag and drop it so you get exactly what you would like. I will go for the initial one and let the system decide which part of the image that I wanted to use. So use image area. And there we go. Now, this did take a centered outcut of the image, and I think it would be nice to have a little bigger picture for the first page of the course. And I can go into properties, and I can say that the text field size is a little too wide. I want it thin. And there we go, and I have a lot more image to display. In the Properties tab, you can find a lot of different functionalities, and these tabs are general. They're there for every template. Please feel free and please be encouraged to explore all the options that you have in there. There's also quite often a little eye icon here that says Learn More, and then you can click on that and you get told a lot more about the functionality within the Properties tab. To go back to editing, I click tab Content again, and we have our first page. And maybe we should name it. So I will click here on page 1, and I will just go Sustainable. And just let it be Sustainable Energy. There we go. Let's create another page. Underneath every page, you have a little plus sign. If you click the plus straight away, it adds another page, and you can choose a new template. But if you want to explore a few more options, you have a little downward pointing arrow here, and we have other things that you can add to your module. You can insert a chapter in order to structure your content. Of course, page, you can have sub-pages. The sub-pages will not be visible for the user in the menu. So if you, for example, would like to create a quiz here, you can start with quiz first page, and then that page will be seen in the menu, will be displayed, but the sub-pages will not be displayed, so the user will not be overwhelmed with how many questions there might be. So creating a quiz with, for example, 12 questions might be a bit much to show in the menu if you have loads of other pages in your module as well. So therefore, sub-pages are not visible in the menu. They are navigatable. I think I hear a question coming. No? All right. Pat, I'm leaving the chat to you, so tell me if there's anything I need to stop for.
Yeah.
Great. Then we also have the possibility within this button to reuse material. Now, this is something that we had obviously in Fast Track as well. You add existing learning material from the library to your module. So you can go into your own module that you previously created, or go into the open library and reuse material from there. You can use entire modules, you can use single pages or chapters from a module. But let's just add another page. I think that we need some ILOs. If not, let's have some ILOs with text and image. And we have ILOs. There we go. And here we go. We have some ILOs, very important, so the students know what they're out for. After completing, you will be there we go. Now we have a couple of ILOs. We can upload a background image here as well if we'd like. Let's have that one. Use image area, and you see it's quite quick to add an image. I would say that it is a good idea about images. Now when we want to add illustrations to our course, obviously, that you download images that are not so large, or you compress them into smaller sizes. The larger the megabytes, the more megabytes, the larger the size. So make sure that you keep them quite low, because then it doesn't take so much time for the user if they're on a weak Wi-Fi, for example. I will ILO. There we go. Let's get our students interacted straight away now. We have a little welcome page. We have the ILOs, and let's ask them something. Let's get them straight away engaged within this. I will ask them to vote on a question. So I will add a page, and I will ask them to vote on a yes or no question for this particular demonstration. And I have prepared a little question here. Does renewable equal sustainable? Vote. What do you think? There we go. And then I add my alternatives. You see the content tab is still here, so it's quite similar to all the other templates. And alternatives to vote for, and I will add an alternative. Yes. And then you can add supporting text. Yes, that is correct. I totally agree. And I can also let the user answer with free text. So I could add another answer as well and let students say, well, yes, but I also think that. But for yes and no answers, I will just leave it like this. Now, for the showing results, then we can add color to each alternative. And why not choose a green color here? As you see, I just click the color picker, and then I click in the color picker. I can also add the hex code for the color, or I can use the RGB code, depending on what you would like. I will add some another alternative, and that is no. Well, let's not scream at them. Let's have red on this one then. Green and red, very primal colors and very hopefully viewable. Now I can add feedback. Once the students have voted, I can say, oh, all right, interesting. Let's see what everybody else has thought. But there's also a default feedback, where you can see how others have voted. You can tailor that to your needs and to what you think that your students should have. I will upload a background image, and let's see, y'all. You'll have a little background here. I will use that one for this. There we go. So now the students can vote on this. And then the results will be shown in a chart. And I will just show you how that looks right now. Because now we want to know, how does this look for the students? Well, we have the preview button. And that will open the module within a new tab in your browser. Like so. And then I can look at this as a student. So, yes or no, there's not lots to choose from. I will vote yes. And since there's no correct answer, I will just get to see a live view of the page in the module. So here, this is a live view, and as the students vote, you can see how this will change. You can also change the way the chart is displayed within the editing system. To go back, I'll just click the other tab.
Let's see, Itamar has a question.
Yes, please.
Hi, Sarah. Just a quick one. So, without an LMS system, yeah, because it's also a bit new to me,
Yes.
Student or participant can still log in to do, for instance, this test, right, or this questionnaire.
Yes, there's a few exceptions. Most of the templates work without an LMS, but the ones where you have to, for instance, track a student's input, for example, within the template forum, where we have to track who's saying what to be able to know who's saying what in a text form, then you need some sort of a login. Either an LMS, you can use the learning zones in the repository, but most of the templates do work. I would say please use the reflect category with a bit of carefulness, because I can write you a list which ones that actually works with without an LMS. But
really good.
I will point out that the category reflect have a few templates that doesn't work without a login.
Okay.
But most of the other ones do.
Okay. Thank you.
Then you only need a link to your module.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Not right now in the chat anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Good luck.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, another one before you there. And the access, for instance, to that, we just need to provide participant with a link, or he needs access to the email.
Yes. You can post the link anywhere within an email, on a blog, on a course program, on your website.
Basically to the whole lecture, for instance. Or...
Absolutely. Okay. That works perfectly well as well.
Thank you.
I will show you how to share in a little while, and we'll see where we are. Now, I have done present. I have done a voting from the reflect category. Let's have a let's see if we can explore some headers here and see if we have an exercise. Now, multiple choice question, I assume that you all are familiar with the multiple choice question, and you guys who have actually used Fast Track, it's very similar to that exercise template. So I will do explore headers template just to make sure that you get to see that. It's very handy. I click on the explore headers, and I will present a few different types of energy. Now, what energy types do we use? So I have some text here, and If your Wi-Fi, like mine, is not cooperating quite as efficiently as you would love it to do, you can force a save. It saves automatically as soon as you stop typing or uploading things. The system does save. But if you would like, you can also use Control S on a PC and Command S on Mac, and you will trigger a save as well, so you can see all the text is there. And I will click on the headers to learn more. There we go. And I add a topic, name of the topic. Let's have wind. And then I get this header. And when the student clicks on this, there will be a little pop-up here that will roll down. And in here, I can paste some texts. Wind powered. And so forth. I can also put up a topic image. So I get a little, let's see if I have something here. We'll use this. And I will add a smaller image area here. There we go. Let's see, and then you just fill up with topics. I add a new topic, and I say nuclear. And then I will let the students find out more info. Get a new image here. Let's use that one. Use that image. Now I'm perfectly happy with how it looks. There we go. Let's see how this looks for the student then. Now I didn't upload any background image, which I can obviously do within the template. And this is what it looks like. You can add the topic image, text. You can also add downloadable materials here and links, obviously. So that works just like it is. And the green little button shows where, which ones the student have clicked on. Now, where's the menu for any module? Well, it's up here, up in this little half moon here. And you can click on the menu to get to see everything. You can add your, you can navigate to the pages that you are interested in as a student. We'll go back to the author. Now, we have done a few pages.
I just interrupt a second. Sorry for a question.
Absolutely.
And regarding the navigation, so I saw a question by one of the kicks whether we have some standards instruction for navigation for learners, because sometimes they don't find the navigation 3 dots by themselves. So usually it's good to start a course or a module with some small navigation instructions. Do you have like a standard text or some standards?
That's great. Well, do you have some already, or are you up for, would you like some?
Well, from whenever we write some short text with a screenshot of a button, but maybe Learnify has something standard that we can all use to explain.
Well, actually, since we do change the buttons sometimes, we make a screenshot, as you say, actually, from the navigation buttons and show where we can find everything, and we just put the text and image page saying, here's how to navigate through the course. There are a few other ways that you can do the menu navigation as well. But what you can do there is when you click on the module name, and then you have the general navigation system. You can add a podcast mode. You can add also sets different rules for the module within here. You also have theme here. And here you can choose. This is where I can come in here. We have different themes and how a module is presented. You can have a desktop theme, you can have a mobile theme, and you can have a color scheme. And here you can add your logo. So here, if you want to use your university logo or the energy logo, you just add the logo and it will be added to your menu. So when the student clicks the menu, they will see the logo in the right-hand corner of the module. But you can also change the color scheme. Right now, the default is orange because, well, it's Learning by Orange, but we also have an energy color scheme that you can straight away choose. And as soon as you change anything in the module setting, that will reflect within all the pages within this module. So let's see how this would look. So now we have instead the energy green and the blue in the menu. Go back. And here we go. And here's a lot of other settings that you can use here. Loads. But here's a handy tip. Always show the menu bar. I click that, and all of a sudden, the menu will always be visible. How about that?
Yeah.
Maybe that one will even save you from telling people where the navigation to the menu is. There we go. So within module settings, you just click the name of your module, or if it's an unnamed module, just click module, and you can get module, general and theme and texts in players settings. There's a lot of settings here, so please, I hope you will enjoy seeing all the different types of settings that you can choose from here. Let's see where we are and what we do have some time. So I will add another template, which I think will be a big use for you. 2 seconds.
Sarah, I have also a question.
Yes, please.
Do we have the option of saving a page as a template?
No, you don't have the option of saving a page as a template, but what you can reuse is module section for something. So if you have changed, for example, your color scheme for a module, you've chosen energy, or you have created your own, which you can do by clicking custom. You have the option of choosing your color scheme here. You can choose the base color, which is the color for the text, the background with text. You got color, highlight, hover over color, and color and buttons, and so forth. If you have done settings that you like and you want to reuse it for entire modules, then you can just go to, let's see. You can go to, when you go to a module where you want to reuse a setting, you click on General, and you have here import settings from other modules. So if you have access to other modules, either from My Pages or from the Open Library, you can just click on them and you can say, this is the module I want to use the overall setting for within my own module. You get the logo, you get the colors, and you get the way the menu is presented. So that's how you can possibly save for templating. Otherwise, they are so quick that that's how we use them instead. I hope that was sort of an answer to the question.
Yeah. Thank you.
While we have a little pause, any other questions? Not so far? Okay.
Sorry, I have one little question. You said that you can also import content from another module?
Yes, you can.
And then it adapts to the setting that you have for your current module?
Well, it does if you are allowed to change that module. If you go into the Open Library, for instance, and someone else has published a module there, you are not allowed to change, and they have done the settings for how other people are allowed to use the material. material. Then that depends on that. But if it's your own module, yes, that will adapt to this, the current module.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Another question is about the reusing. If we reuse, we say, okay, I import the module and we reuse the module. If we modify this module, is automatically modified in the main copy, or it just creates a copy of the content in the new module that we are creating?
Pat, could you help me with that one?
Yeah, if there are two ways to reuse material. You could either copy the material, or you could use a link to the material. And if you use a link to a material, it will be immediately updated if the source files are updated. But if you make a copy of something, then it won't be changed. So you need to think when you reuse material, do I want to have this automatically updated, or do I want to have it as it is for the future? But the original author can also set if that should be possible. Maybe you create some fantastic material and you say, this is only for me, and I want my logo always at the top. You can say, oh, it should always be used like this. So it's not allowed to copy the material.
And when we click into the plus button after the page, and then we have the options, okay, to add a chapter, a page, a subpage, or to reuse material. So when we click there, what do we do? Are we creating the link, or are we creating a copy?
Let's go through it. Why not?
Okay. Super.
Yep. It's a great question. We'll make sure to have a look at that then. So yes, well, you can add a chapter. Let's add a chapter for another. Let's just add a chapter so you can see that, and then we'll reuse some material that's already existing. Chapter 2. When you add a chapter, the first chapter in the module is hidden by default, because we think that if you create a module that is only consisting of a few pages, then you don't need a chapter in the menu. That is just a waste of space and navigation extras. So that's why we have opted to as soon as you add a chapter, then by default this will be chapter 2. All right, so let's say that you can click here and rename the chapter. I think I'll leave it for chapter 2 right now, because you see that chapter 1 has been made visible here now. Obviously, just click there and add and change the name. Let's now reuse some material. Let's see, I click the little downward button here and I reuse material. Now, there is energy system present and future. I think that sounds like a great idea. I will click that. And then we have reuse. Select the part you want to copy and reuse in your module. So this might be because I'm admin, that I don't have the reuse link.
Yeah, I don't think it does seem like the reuse link is implemented there. So I will check on that. There will be a possibility to choose between making a copy or making a link there.
But you will have 2 buttons then, so you will know as soon as you click the material that you want to reuse, it will reuse, and then you get all the the whole module, you get the chapters, you get the pages and sections, because this module I clicked on is made in Fast Track. And then you see the button will say copy or reuse link or something similar. So you will know exactly if you make a copy or if you link the material.
Okay, super. It's not appearing either in my menu, so I think maybe the option of copy and link.
Yeah. So for right now, we only have copy, but there will be a
super.
So let's. I will just shift. I will just. I want to have this chapter shift in focus, so I get the chapter with the introduction lecture and the knowledge test. I'll make a copy of that and implement that in my module.
Question, Sarah. Now you clicked only at the main page, let's say, while the rest let's say in the fast tracker where sub-pages, does it copy the full module? So including introduction, lecture 1, and test your knowledge, or you need to click them manually?
No, if you click the parent page,
Yeah.
so it will copy the
Okay.
as well. If you click the whole module, then
it will take the full.
Yes, it will.
Actually, Sarah, in this case, you're importing a module into a module, so you will not be able to click the full module. You will actually be only have to click the different chapters. Otherwise, it will be a module in a module.
We don't have a module in a module. That's that's a bit.
But you can take all the pages, and then when you get them into your module, then you can rearrange them and so on. Yeah.
Okay, thank
I
you.
was totally updated. Thank you. Right, so we have those pages, and now we have the introduction, we have the lecture, and we have test your knowledge. Now, if you don't see the content here, don't be alarmed. Just click on the pages and that will appear. We'll read in. We're saving you some time by not loading all the previews straight away. Don't be alarmed, they are there. Just have a look, click on them in the table of content or within the live view and you will see all of them. So now I have
Sarah, can I ask one question?
Please,
This is Clara. Yeah. Like we have already, as you know, some models that we have made, right?
Yes.
Why? I mean, I can see this is a different system, or I don't know. Is it different than the system we have used for creating our models? What we're seeing, and it's just the interface that is different, or is it also the programming behind it? And if we now import some of the already created material here, are any of the functions being lost or changed or anything like that?
The only thing that can be lost in the translation is possibly that you might have to use this button here. I will show you. Clara and I have met before, so I will just explain quickly to the rest of you that we met before. And Clara is leading a group that's created material in Fast Track. Now, this material, Clara, that I just imported is created in the same way that you guys did when you created your material.
Mm-hmm.
So you get exactly what was the content within the module, even though it was made in Fast Track. They are compatible, even though it's a different source of copy as well.
But do we get new, like, should we do that, or should we just leave it as it is? Do we win anything for making the transition, or?
Well, actually, it really depends. We're going to make bigger updates. If you feel like, okay, there's we want to teach someone else to learn about editing and updating the system, I would encourage you to go into Author because it is easier and even quicker to learn than Fast Track.
Okay.
So for that, yes, I would encourage you to do that. But the Fast Track functionality is still there. You can still edit it. And it really, I think I would say it's a matter of course of how you like to edit.
Okay.
The templates are exactly like the templates are just as many and the same that you have in Fast Track.
Okay.
So the only thing that you might need to do is if you import something from a Fast Track module, you might get this that you have sub-pages that you don't want to be sub-pages, you want them to be normal pages so they are visible in the menu. As I said before, sub-pages are not visible in the menu, but if you want to make them visible, then you have to stop them from being sub-pages and put them into being normal pages. And you have a little special button for that. You've got that right here. Make sub-page into a page. Just click that and then the page will be transformed into a normal page and be visible in the menu. So that is the only one that you might have to do if you import material from a Fast Track module. All right. Shall we add a video so you get to see?
Can I ask one more question on the importing material? I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's interesting for the company, or if it could be a solution, but could we make like one chapter or one page or something that is about the navigation, and then use it in all the other modules, so that we don't have to just import it instead of having to copy paste the thing? But is there a limit of how many links can it be? Like, how many times can you import a material with a link?
There is no limit on that. You can absolutely create a navigational page. I would not say that we should do that, because there's so many that will use different colors and different ways and different themes. But what you can do is to together in New Energy create a standard one that you can publish in the library and reuse that page from there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It was just an idea, but yeah.
It's a great idea, absolutely. But since you are so many different departments and a few different universities and everything, then I think it would be recommendable that you guys did the standard yourself and published it in the library.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, could
Yes,
I just ask something quick? You might have already answered it, but I didn't get it quite straight. So if you copy an already used material and you change it here, you modify it in your own module, it will not modify the original one, right?
that is correct.
Okay, so we're safe, like importing and modifying, we will not be changing other courses.
Yeah.
No, see, we made a copy this time, then I can go ahead and edit this straight away. And
Okay,
it will
thank you.
Yes.
So actually copying is the safest way, because otherwise you need to keep track of where was my original and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. All right, I will show you the video template, since I do think that you are going to use that a lot. It's very, very simple, but I think I should go through that one as well, just to make sure. And then we will go over to how to export or link material, how you can share it out to your users. And then we will go on to the licensing materials and copyright. Right, and please go ahead and ask your questions, and if you and just interrupt or write them in the chat, and Pat will sort you out. All right, I will add a new chapter so I can so I just know where my reused content is, and I will do a video. Now we have two separate video templates, and the first one is a video template like this, looks like so. If I click on that. Big green button as a standard. You can upload a video or you can paste a link to a video. You can upload any video, but the max size is 300 megabytes, which means that you have to compress the video, and it's only the format MP4 that work. MP4. That is the standard file format for videos online, so it's quite common. You can also upload subtitles. And there's a whole guide chapter on that, where you can see how to do your own subtitling if you don't have the subtitles burned in. It needs to be a TXT file, but, well, I encourage you to go into Help Center, click Author, and then there's a whole chapter on subtitling, well, a whole guide article about subtitling if you're interested in doing that. Now, if you want to paste a link, then the links usable right now are YouTube links. So if your university or your department have their own YouTube channel, then you paste a link right here instead of uploading a video. I will upload a video from that I have prepared. Let's have a video of windmills, just a very short one. You see that it's just 1.2 megabytes and it's about 3 seconds long, but it will go quickly. At least somewhat quickly. Oh, let's see, I think I have that.
So maybe meanwhile I can ask one thing.
Go ahead.
This video, is it download like in the all models that we have created? One of the problems we have had in our project is that the videos can be downloaded by people that gets the link to the model. Is that still the same here?
Yeah, that is still the same here. If you right click on the user if we preview here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And this, you can right click on this. Oh, I've actually implemented that very nicely. It depends on the video's properties as well. But if you're a bit handy, you can access the video and download it. Yes, that is possible.
Just mention there, a good guideline is to have about 10 megabytes per minute when you upload film. So you compress it to that rate, then it's good. If you upload stuff on YouTube and so on, they do it automatically, all of it. But 10 megabytes per minute is a good average frame rate or so on.
And if you don't have a compressor program, I will give you a tip, and that's Handbrake. It's called. It's an open source compressor online. You can just download the program, and it will help you to compress your video files and your audio files if you would like. Handbrake, as in handbrake of a car. Just Google that, and you'll find a very good open source program. Now,
sorry, for the streaming and also for the limit on the size of the videos.
Yes.
From InnoEnergy side, we prefer to use Vimeo or YouTube as a streaming service. It's also a bit more difficult to download videos, but you can always do that. There are also like programs on the internet to get to download videos, I guess, to sort of sabotage that and to download videos from YouTube. But in principle, we have a private channel on Vimeo which limits access rights. So it's not so easy to just download the videos that we are streaming. Well, it's not 100% certain that people cannot do it, but at least it's a bit more difficult, let's say, to download the videos yourself.
That is really good advice. So on that line, I will add the template for Vimeo. Now, I don't have that here in my present palette, so I will go to more templates. And then we have the special template for Vimeo that is adapted, so it will maximize the use of the Vimeo. So I will just add that to my templates. Go back, and then we have Vimeo here. There we go, and you just add your Vimeo link right here. And since I didn't prepare a Vimeo link, so I will just show you that it's possible to add a Vimeo link. If you use YouTube, then you use the video template, and you click the link here, and you paste the URL to your video on YouTube.
All right, Sarah, good. Shall we move over a little bit to think about collaboration and sharing?
Yeah, let's. I'm just reconnecting here to the system. Let's see. There we go. Per, could you please expand on the sharing possibilities while I reload my editor?
Sure. Yes, so there are several different ways to collaborate and share around material. I think in the first phase, you are probably working perhaps together with someone, and you're creating material together with someone, and then you can be co-authors. So if you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people working together on the same material, you can allow the other ones to become co-authors. And then they will see the material under my pages in the same place as if it was their own material. The advantage and the disadvantage of this is that all the co-authors get all the rights to the material, so they can delete things, they can change things, and so on. That could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing, of course. So you need to trust them, the ones that you're working with. But it's very efficient to work together like that in the material, to really be able to edit it even at the same time, and so on. But yeah, if you're in different locations and want to use the material and so on. So share with a co-author. Sarah got it on the screen now.
Yep. Yeah. So I add Per as my co-author. I'll just repeat that quickly. I click the share button up in the right-hand corner. I chose share with co-author, and then I just wrote the name. I wrote Per's name. I can try Anouk, for example. There we go. There's Anouk. Let's add her as well. And here we go.
And if you want to remove someone, you get a little bin on each one.
Yeah. You can add as many co-authors as you like. And just turn this, well, click the X, and you have saved all the settings that you made.
Yeah, so that's one way of sharing and collaborating. One other way is to send the material for someone to have a look at it. And then you can do that on 2 different levels. The easiest one is just copy a link here, and then you can get a direct link to the selected page there and copy that link. Anyone that will have this link then can open the material. So you can paste this link into an email or on a web page or in a Slack or in a chat or whatever you want, and they can have a look at it. So then you can see it directly and see if they have any feedback for you. There is a new functionality called review that is also really useful here. And if we use that one and copy the link to the material, then everyone we send this to will have a review link. So they will be able to actually add comments to your material like this. So Sarah is now commenting on her own pages. I think it's good. At her shoulder here, yeah. But you can also put up comments to her comment and have a discussion, have a reply here. So and say could be better. Yeah.
One question here. Are the comments on the overall module, or it can be comments on pages, sub-pages, etc., etc.?
It's on each page.
Okay.
It's connected to each page. And there's also a possibility there to actually put up a status. So if you hover over it, you can say it's normally set to not managed yet, this comment. But if you click on that one, we can see the alternatives there.
You got under consideration, taken care of, or discarded. So we'll just go no.
Okay, we can't see that, or I can see that at least.
Sometimes
it's probably lagging in the sending for Hangouts here. But you have the different alternatives. Mention them again, Swiss.
Yes, we have not managed yet. Then we have under consideration. We have taken care of and discarded. So if I click under consideration, you can see that it changed here.
Yeah. So, and that is really good to have this in a material, because if you have a lot of reviewers, you know, some people like what you do and some people don't think so, and they can have a discussion around that. And it's very useful to save this discussion for the future as well. Because if you're updating this material in a half a year from now, you will probably not remember all the comments around it and the considerations that was taken into this. So it's a good idea to use the review.
Sorry, can I one second? So if we send this link to several co-authors, they all can see these comments, each other's comments. Okay.
Yes.
And they don't have to be co-authors. You can send it to other people, but they need to be able to write. I think they will need to have a login to the system because that makes it a lot easier to keep track of who is putting up each comment and so on. So that's one way of collaborating and sharing material. Should we go back to sharing way of working here? You also have an edit here to copy an edit link. And that if you should open the course or the page what you're linking to directly in edit mode, So normally you don't do that. You send in viewing mode to other people or reviewing mode, but it's possible to do that. And then we have the LTI link. And that is actually the link that you post in your LMS system. If your LMS system is connected to the EIT Repository, so integrated, so you will actually have the systems talking to each other and exchanging users and keeping track of things. Then we use this link. But it's not only the link, you need to have it set up together with the EIT repository. So you contact us and say, yeah, I want to connect this repository, and it's probably good to have some technical people on the other side involved. But that's a one-time job, something we do once, and then it's set up for that. So that's ways of collaborating. There's also publishing. Shall we move into that? Because that's also a way to sharing material. So when we click on that one, we will here see then different settings we can put up on our material. Right now it's not published, but we can change the status there. But maybe before we need to set up some metadata. So we can put up a description, and we can describe your material here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So this is information that people will see in the library when they search for material. Then they can search on your text here, or they can see the information. The next field is published in the following categories. And that is so when you set up a library like this is done for Energy so far, but it will need to be done for each GIG because you don't have only energy material, you have other types of material. You need to set up different categories here, which you can publish material under. So it could be for different types of courses, different subject areas, and so on. So that's what you put up here. All right, we can take the next one.
I will have to choose one to make it. Let's go there. There we go. I will remove this from the library later.
And then we have the licensing.
Yes.
And then you can change between the different Creative Commons. And then you have the tools that I've been mentioning before. The first one is the more open one. So then you're able to make copies of the material and you can change the copies. If you use the next one, no derivatives, so then it's not allowed to make copies and changes of it. Other license could be lots of other things. That could be if you set up your own licensing model here, and you perhaps sell material, or you have some other rights that you have agreed upon with an author. So then that is taken into consideration. Shared within Energy Master School, that is actually the department I'm registered with in this case. So if my user account is connected to one organization, it's possible to share within that organization. And Sarah's account is now within Energy Master School. There. So you choose one license, and then you have access rights. How open should it be? Should it be totally open? Anyone with a link should be able to access this. Access depends on where you publish the material, and then you can give access to specified users, and restricted, only accessible to users with explicit rights. So the middle one is for people that are able to access that library or that place, that folder where you put your material. For instance, within Energy Master School, then those people will have that. Restricted, then it's actually the usernames. You have to say, yeah, Sarah is allowed to use this.
One question. Maybe you mentioned it before and I just cannot recall, but when you showed the copy, you showed the review and view copies. How does it affect if we choose different access rights? So if I want to share with someone external, just to check a module or look at our quality, something like this, do I need to keep open anyone with the link to be able to do that?
If you want anyone to be able to access it, you need to keep it open, anyone with a link.
So if it's restricted and the person does not have a Learnify account, I cannot use the review or view copy link.
For the review, let's see now. No, I don't. It's a new functionality, so I haven't tested that myself. But I don't think if you put restricted usage here, I don't think you will be able to review links now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we have the open one there, and we have the publisher. Who is the publisher of this material? And that is not always the same one as the author. Maybe the publisher is your organization or something like that. And you can put up any text there and say, yeah, this is the publisher. All right, more searchable information. Do we have anything else there? Yeah, we have keywords. We have intended learning outcomes, yeah. And let's see, orientation. What was that then? We have any.
Right, so you can't see that. That is orientation on who does this material go to? Is it general? Is it professional? Academic? Vocational?
Yeah. And difficulty as well. And there's quite a few ways to categorize your material. And that is, of course, good if you fill in these things, because it makes it easier for people to understand what the material is and to search for it and so on. And there's a few of them that are obligatory that you need to fill in, and quite a few that is optional as well. So you fill in the ones that you think is relevant for your material, and then you change your publish status to where you want to publish it for which library here. And right now it's only InnoEnergy that has an open or their own library in here, but it will be added for each KIC here, an individual library. There's also a new functionality coming up so that you can have several libraries, so you can make like a library of collections for a theme or something like that, so you can have more than one library. But right now it's InnoEnergy, and you from the other KICs, if you start creating material now in this week and next week and so on, you will have to share it between it as co-authors or share a link with the material. You don't have an open library yet, but you will have in a couple of weeks or a month or something like that. It will be set up for each one of you. So that's ways of sharing and collaborating around material in the library, and also to do it directly. I think we can go back to actually see the new library and see my pages there, Sarah, so we see, because we haven't.
I will unpublish it so I don't forget that.
Yeah.
Right, so we have the top menu here, and I go to the new library. There we go.
In here, so here you have my pages, and that is all the pages that you have created and all the material that has been shared with you. So you have the share with me button there as well to see if there is someone that has shared something new with you, so you can access all your material that way and see it, and that way you can see the metadata and find material and so on. And if you have an open library, you can see what material has been published for you and what you have access to. So, and energy people will have this, and maybe there is someone of you that has more rights than you should have. We didn't know if you were inside energy or not, if you don't have an email from a kick or so, but we will check that and make sure that you have access to the relevant stuff there. We're getting close to the end here. We said 10:30 for finishing up, so I just want to wrap up to go even further back to the beginning of, if you go to the first page, Sarah, because all of you now, I hope, have accounts in the EIT Repository, but right now you are in the energy repository. So if you log out there, Sarah, and go to the first page.
Log out. There we go. And I'm sorry, but I have a little technical difficulty. There we go.
Oh. All right, so you're sharing part of the screen there, so we don't see all of it. But this will also be changed, so it will be the EIT repository that you log into. But right now, you will have to stick with the energy repository front page. But it will be a EIT layout on this. So this is where you log in, and you have the forgot password button up there. And that's the basic thing that you need to know and get into the system. So, and if we do that, again, then we can see that we get to the same menu as before. So this is where you start. You will probably go through the menu up to the left-hand corner, and if you start in creating material, it's suggested to start with author. Also, a short reminder of the help center up at the right-hand corner with a question mark up there. If you go there, and in getting started, you will have a quick overview, introduction to Learnify tools, a little bit about the stuff I told you in the beginning. But then I would suggest you go to the guides and go into author here. Under author, there are lots of different information. And if you click to a template here, text with image or something, yeah. There is also a possibility to see examples here. Click here to view an example. And then you come to a module that contains a lot of different templates, actually. You will get to the first one. Seems like your computer getting tired.
I'm sorry, I have a few technical issues here. There we go. There we go.
Oh, okay, and it was a video that started there as well. Yeah. So here you will have in the menu, when you click on this in all the guides, you will have examples of the different templates built into a resource. So I think that's a really good way to go through that and see the different examples, and you get an idea of different templates, so how it's used. So if you will see, yeah, there was something about the voting there under reflect, then you can click on that and you will see an example how it is used and so on. So it will be more easy for you to imagine, is that something for me or isn't it? And, if you say voting, people might suspect a lot of different things, but this is actually examples of what it is. I can recommend that during Help Center. All right, I think we have filled up our time right now, but we will still be here, of course, if there are more questions for you. Otherwise, we thank you for your time. And
I'm sorry, but I have a quick question. When will the opening page will change to EIT?
In a couple of weeks, up to a month, somewhere like that.
Okay. It's really important because some partners want to be involved in the repository, but then for them, it's, if you can imagine, it's difficult for them to sign it in energy, and it doesn't make sense to them.
No, of course. No, actually, we already built one EIT entrance, but we have decided to go with the energy way, so we will change that. But we'll try to be quick on that. So and we'll keep you posted.
So further on that, the dropping page of the course, okay, for participant, yeah, will show as the EIT energy or whatever logos we will choose.
You should whatever logos you want to use. And there's a possibility to, if you make like a template, you create one course where you set the logo the way you like it, and you set the colors the way you like it. You can reuse that theme on all your courses. You only have to do that once. So you create one for raw material, for instance, with your colors and with your logo, and then you reuse that.
Okay, thank you very much.
We also had a question about a template for equations with mathematical symbols and so forth. And I know that you guys at development group have talked about this.
Yeah, I'm not sure the current status. There's been a lot of work around equations and symbols and all that. So I think it's updated in the help center to explain how it works there in different cases. But otherwise, give a call to the support. You have that also in the help center, the contact information for the support, and you will get it. You can explain what you want to do, and we'll help you with that.
I believe Wilson has been trying, well, he had some exercises with equations in it, and I think, Wilson, you have been trying out the functionality of adding equations in the editor.
Yeah, so I have been creating some modules in the previous days, and I've used these functions in the text field. So you just can put a function inside, and it works well. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's just complicated. It changes the color if you have like a slash in a wrong direction, then the formula changes color. I could also not use like sub-indexes and indexes for the sum functions. So I cannot say like sum from I equal 1 to something. So that was not working. And I think the fractions still also don't work. Like you see the parentheses and I mean, you can understand what it is, but I think it still needs some work to have a proper view of an equation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably that the language for expressing functions so is interfering with HTML editing, so it means something else as well. So, but contact the support and they will try to help you with figuring out what you need to do.
I have one more question before we go, if that's okay. At least from my side, the last one. About the questions when we created our material with the other functions or module or interface, we have had a lot of struggles with, because we need to ask our citizens some questions during the module to get feedback, and those questions should be mandatory to answer. But we struggle still today about making them mandatory, because when we did that, then the pages before were mandatory. Is this more flexible here, or is it still the same?
Yes, there are quite a lot of functionality on that, how to set is what you need to do before you're allowed to access the next page.
Yeah.
And things like that. But that is also quite context driven. There are functionality like that, but I think we'll need to help you with a specific case and see how we can manage.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. So thank you very much for listening in, and we're really excited to get you going with this now and try to help you. And if you see the need for new webinars or something like that to go through different things, so just let us know. Go through the support, or you have my contact information as well now as head contact for EIT here, managing all the other kicks. Please give me a mail and see whatever you need. So we'll try to arrange for that so we can help you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Good luck in Malta.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.